What's up, guys? It is Monday. First and foremost, I want to apologize. Last week was the first week of my new shift. Instead of having Wednesdays off, I now have Mondays off. And I guess I got really used to doing stuff on Wednesday in the middle of the week. And I didn't get as much done Sunday and Monday as I should have. And basically didn't get anything done all week after work, which is 11 o'clock at night. And had a busy weekend, didn't really get much done. So sorry I didn't get much content out, but we're gonna fix that today. All right, so it's hot and I'm not really motivated, but things must be done. This is the passenger side seat. I was just gonna go ahead and strip this without recording it, but a lot of people over the course of this interior swap have asked, hey, what did you do to make the seat rails work? What did you do? How are you gonna get power to the seat for like the slide and all that? We don't have that. For y'all that don't know, we got rid of like everything that is not the actual frame of the seat. And the driver's seat we already did in a previous video, so if y'all want to go back and watch that, that we really went into detail on how we welded the tabs into this over there and got the tabs on the seat frame, drilled a hole, bolted it up, which is going to be what I'm going to do today. And it's going to be difficult because I think we burnt that drill bit up doing the other side. And yeah, so I'm going to set a time lapse up, of course, because I know y'all love those. But basically all I've done is pulled the switches off of this side, and then I stopped and was like, I need to record this. So for us to leave this rail, the seat would sit like you can see the seat frame. This is what we left on the driver's side seat. So you can see from here to here, we've got a good, 3-4 inches of height that was added by this. Whereas if you had an extended cab, you could probably keep those rails, but in a single cab, you have these humps in the floor, and that back corner is going to have to sit way high, which brings the whole rest of the seat up, so you sit way high, which is why we made this rail to begin with, and then we cut all the bottom railing, this stuff, off. So if I remember right, I'm going to have to remember as I go here, because we did that one a long time ago, but it should just be 2 Allens, this huge Allen here, and this one here. Same thing on the other side. There's this module in the way. You got to pull all this stuff off to get to it. But the other Allen is right here, and it looks very stripped, so that's going to be a good time. And then that allows you to pull this bottom rail off, and then you're going to have some little arms still attached. This one up here, which is like a rivet, it's a swivel rivet, so can't do anything with that. So we just took the cutoff wheel and cut that part of the rail off to get it out of the way. So I'm going to set the time lapse up, do that, and then update you guys. And y'all that were wondering, well, how are you going to have the heated AC seats if you're getting rid of all this? Well, we figured out which part of the wiring is left for the heated and cooled part of it. And it's a pigtail. I don't remember which one, I'm not going to lie to you right now. But I want to say it's one of these, or it's something to do with this blower right here, not the motors for the sliding and all that. But you just pull up a pin out of those, and I think James found one. If he didn't, then you can just guess with a multimeter, or get you like a DeWalt battery, hook you a couple jumper wires to it, hot and negative, and just keep trying them until that motor starts blowing. That's all you got to do. It's pretty simple. It's not the hardest thing in the world, but it can be done. So let's get the time lapse set up and let's get started. So this is where I'm at. Pulled the bottom rail off, like I said. There's a couple little retainers and different little mounts and stuff in here, and then I went ahead and unclipped the whole harness that's under the seat, pulled it out, set it aside. And looking at this, I kind of thought about it, and I don't know if we were in a hurry last time or we did this and it didn't work out, but I'm looking at these tabs that stick down. Not this, I might have to cut this off if my idea works. But the back's fixed, but this front swivels. And I'm wondering, instead of doing the plates like we did, if I can use these and just weld plates on the frame going down, and then have to do a little bit less work, and see if that style of mounting is better, more efficient, whatever, however you want to say it. Yeah, so I'm gonna set it in there and see what's up with that. I didn't get a time lapse because I don't know why, but the tripod is missing the cold shoe mount, and I looked all over the garage for it and I didn't find it. So I'm gonna look a little bit harder before I replace it, but looks like I'm gonna have to buy another cold shoe mount, and I'm probably gonna buy something different this time because that one's always been kind of janky. So there's that. But yeah, I'm gonna set the seat in there and then we're gonna see what it looks like, and I'll show you guys. Alright guys, so it took a little bit of wiggling. Makes me appreciate James that much more because this is a bitch to do by yourself. But I think this is actually gonna work, guys. This is a good, I don't mind doing this side different than the other, because that allows us to show, since I mean nobody's documented this swap, but so many people have done it before. This allows us to show you guys two different ways you can do it. If you're a better fabricator, you might go with the route we did on the driver's seat. If you're not that great of a fabricator, you might go with what I'm about to do on this side. And I'm gonna do it this way on this side just to save a little time. So basically, let me explain. So like I was saying about the hump in the back, so that little loop you see right there is sitting on top of the hump. So it's this bracket, but on the other side. I'm gonna have to trim that just a little bit so it'll sit different. But the front ones are in a good spot. The front ones have this little ear that come out right here, and I'll have to trim that off the other side. It hits the trans tunnel, but well, it might not touch it. Yeah, it touches a little bit. But basically what I can do is get that other side trimmed up, get that side of the seat to sit down where it needs to. This actually put the passenger side seat at the same distance as the other one, and then all we'll have to do is put power to it and lean the seat back. But other than that, trimming that other leg will let the seat sit down flat like it's supposed to. And then all I'll have to do, instead of doing plates on the rail and doing plates on that and having to drill it all I've got to do now is basically trim that other one, let it sit down flat, figure out where I want these arms to be forever, and then weld them on the seat frame. That way they can't move anymore. And then just weld up, you know, a tab here like this to the seat rail. Something. I'll figure out how I want to do that. I have other metal too. I can cut different pieces, but basically just weld a piece here and then just have to drill a hole in that, and then that bolt hole's big enough for the bolts we already got, and then just run the bolt through it and tie it together. Same thing here. Just put this plate, you know, like here, drill a hole in it, bolt it together, boom. Same thing on the other side. It's a little bit more convenient. You only got to do one set of welding to the rail and one hole drill on, you know, 4 times, instead of having to do that and weld tabs onto the seat frame and drill those and make those holes line up and do all that. And this way looks a little bit more accessible doing this instead of trying to go vertically with the nut and bolt combination. This might be a lot easier. Yeah, I think this idea is going to work out pretty good. This might be the way that a lot more people would want to do. Definitely, at this point right now, seems way easier than what we dealt with on the other side. So I'm going to get to work. I'll update you guys as it comes along and see how it goes. I'd say it, but I didn't really get nothing done today. And this is going to be the end of this video. It's been a long day. I had a hard day yesterday. Helped brother-in-law build a porch, Austin, and I think I got a little bit too hot, and we were drinking beer too, so probably not the smartest decisions, but got really tired. Got a late start today. Got up, paid some bills, called the bank. Finally got out here, and then remembered I needed to mow the other half of the yard, so I mowed the front real quick before the girls got home because they park in the grass. So I gotta try to mow before they get home so I can actually get it all mowed and not have to go around the cars. And then came back and had to grind a little bit more on the seat. It's done. This part of it's done. I don't need to do anything more. I shaved off what I needed to shave. Got the ears cut off the back of this one. So the seat's good. It's got all it needs done to it. And then I actually pulled the bracket out to do that stuff on the close to the vise. I think I'm actually going to leave it out and get this vacuumed out and kind of cleaned up, because the harness is in the mail, the engine harness, and the whole reason we took the dash and all that stuff back off is because like all of our starter signal and our ignition switch, all that comes from way back here, or from the column I should say, and goes across. We got to reconnect to this with the new harness, and James said he wanted to clean it up and do it a little different, so the harness is coming. What I'm getting at is I really needed to get the seats done today, and that unfortunately didn't happen. I'm going to get to that in a second. Anyways, the harness is coming. Once the harness gets plugged in and we make all our splices we need to make, the dash can go back on for the last time. We won't have a reason to have to take it back off at that point. So it's basically stripped as far down as it's going to be. It'd be a great time to get all this vacuumed up, get our wiring done, pretty well cleaned up. I'm going to order some deadener. James got some cheap off-brand deadener, and it actually did really good in his truck. So I'm going to order that and get that slapped in here. We've got carpet that is molded to this floorboard. Just so happens we got another OBS. I haven't really talked about it much, but we got another extended cab OBS. I'm going to use the straight side bed, the fleet side bed off of it, and I'm going to do away with the step side. Sorry if that makes anybody butt hurt. I've never really been a step side guy anyway, so. But another perk to that truck being an extended cab and being an OBS is the carpet in it can be used in here. The transmission hump's the same. So what we can do, it's like a, damn son, idiot. I can dye it. James wants to dye it, so we'll dye it black. Put the deadener down, clean it all out, put the deadener down, dye that carpet, put it in. Since it's an extended cab, we'll be able to come up the back wall with it and actually have something clean back there until we do the audio build. And then we'll put the seat rail in. I'll paint it one more time before we put it in, and then bolt the seats up, bolt the console up, and then the interior will be, we'll say stage one, the interior will be done. We'll have door panels to do after that, but that'll be down the road, because I already know when I get that harness in and get the interior together, I'm gonna want to drive it so bad. So look forward to, I'm probably not gonna cover finishing this up. Well, I guess I'll tell you guys why I stopped. I got this hole drilled, tried to drill this one, and I think I finally burnt that cobalt bit up. It stopped. It didn't do anymore. Step bit got me a little bit, and then it burned up. It can't handle it. It's a Harbor Freight piece of junk anyways. And then this one I had just kind of marked when it was still sitting in the truck, so I knew where to put the hole. And then I tried to drill on it, and that bit smoked. So I gotta get a freaking drill bit, because this metal we got, this stuff right here, it's pretty beefy. I don't have quality drill bits, and trust me, it takes a good drill bit to get through that crap. I didn't think it did, but I burnt like, well, 3 today. And yeah, so I need to get a drill bit to finish this, but I'm probably not going to record that. I'll probably just slap it together. If I do, I'll do a real quick review on what we did and bolting it back together real quick. But everything's coming together real quick, and here hopefully in the next, I'm hoping in the next 2 weeks I can be driving this. Hopefully. We'll see. But yeah, look forward to the interior is going to get stage 1 completed here pretty quick in the next 2 weeks for sure. And then once we get the harness connected and all that put together, then we can get the transmission cooler lines ran up, get the neutral safety switch. The shift linkage is set on there, but we didn't find a nut for it. That went on the old transmission, so that should be easy. We got a bucket full of them. And then we're gonna put new U-joints on the drive shaft. I'll make a how-to video on that, just cause free views, why not? But anyways, transmission cooler lines, U-joint, slap the drive shaft in, and then we'll put the front clip back on, put this our replacement fender that's a little better than the one we had. Get that on, and then the shackles for the back should be here this week also. And then I'm gonna order a damn, that thing just hit the camera. You better quit, mug. Knock your ass out there. I hate these things, dude. So there's 2 ways you can go about this tie rod hitting the frame right here. You can use the WIMP route and use their 1-inch isolator cups, which basically are, we're gonna call these sissy spacers. This would raise you 1 inch in the front and make you 4-inch drop in the front. We're not doing that. The other option is to notch the frame right here so that the tie rod doesn't bump into the frame. And then we jumped on it, and I was like, okay, man, it just barely hits it. Well, we're new to a lot of technical stuff, and we learned that's what bump steer comes from. So when you hit a bump and your truck jerks one way or the other, that's what that's from. I never knew that, but good to know. So there's another solution. They make what they call bump steer kits, and it's actually like a spacer that goes between your spindle, and it moves your tie rod end down. Let's say it's like a 4-inch spacer. It'll put the tie rod end down here, which gets this angle a lot better, so it can't touch the frame. And James found those, and we haven't found a specific one for this yet, but I haven't looked real hard. And most of them we were seeing were like 50, 60 bucks. So instead of cutting and notching the frame and getting into all that, we just put a bump stop kit on it, solve that problem. Get the fender on, get the front clip on, get the coolers hooked up, radiators set in, get the fans mounted on the core support, get the shroud modified because it's supposed to be a clutch fan, and we're going to E-fans, so we're going to get that fabbed up. Get some hoses for the water. Other than that, we should be driving. So look forward to all that. The next 2 to 3 weeks is going to be solid. It's going to come together and be running and driving by the end of 3 weeks for sure. I'm going to make a goal of that. So Other than that, we got a pit bike race coming up this next weekend, the 16th, I believe. We're gonna do it on a Sunday this time, just cause. So, if y'all are into the races, that's coming. Other than that, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what's up. If you know something about the bump steer kits, I'm still kind of researching that. So if you know something about that, leave a comment, let me know. Other than that, peace out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.